Hey, it's Jenny. Welcome back to the League-Kempner house in Galveston, Texas. Today is a huge day. I'm a little shaky. If you know the house and you know me, this kitchen is one of the, well, it is the reason that I bought this house in the first place. It's a complete Victorian kitchen that's not been altered. It was in what I considered relatively pristine condition for a house that's over 130 years old, but unfortunately it had a lot of structural problems in this area, and we've been planning for a long time the deconstruction of this kitchen. I'm not going to call it demolition because we're saving everything we can, and Ricardo and his crew has been here. You've seen them working outside, and I think I did a lot of that kind of unplanned, unbudgeted work outside because I was procrastinating and not wanting to do this because it's a big deal. The floor tile alone is about $40 a square foot to replace with a modern reproduction that's not as good as what we have. But this is a big safety issue and we have to do it. So I feel like I need to go get a dozen donuts and eat them. Sugar is my drug of choice for calming down. I'm going to interject a little bit of a warning here. Today's video is not going to be like some of our other videos. None of them are scripted. They are what they are, but I edit them out to make them fit a time frame for watching. This one's going to be a little longer and maybe a little painful in parts because this project is so big and there is no known way to do this. It is purely trial and error. And it's very terrifying. We need to get these tiles out intact. Some are completely loose. Some are embedded in concrete. We don't know what's going to happen. I have some ideas in my head of some different things to try to free them up. But it's a lot of us just trying to figure it out as we go. So let's get started.
You need to live here?
That can stay in there. Yeah. So the kitchen is now empty, and you can really see what I call the fault lines. So right here, where the floor cracked and fell to either side. Right here, this big one is where they had that temporary kind of support beam in the basement. You can see all the cracking here, where this tile is loose. And then the big separation here, that's a hole. And then in the last couple of videos, you probably saw here where all the floor joists were bad under here. So all these floor joists had to be taken out. So now there's not that second layer of support underneath. We're not going to remove the floor into the cabinet. Yeah, so the next thing to do is I need to crawl under here and prepare this for the guys to come in and pick this sink up, and you can see all of the tile underneath. Grab Joe. Dirty and a little scary under here. This is very heavy. I don't think it's going to fall on my head, but there's just something weird about being underneath it. First thing I'm going to do is just wipe the tile a little bit to get it free of any loose dust and dirt. And then Kelly went down to the Family Dollar. It's the cheapest place we found for contact paper. And this is a method Joe and I came up with on a very unfortunate day that we tried to remove some tile and it did not go so well. There was a lot of screaming and yelling involved, and so we came up with this better method to do it. And you see contact paper up in the bathroom upstairs, but basically we use the contact paper to hold the tile in place so that nothing falls off. And then once it's on there, we score it and start taking tiles off from the top. So I'm going to try to reach up as high as I can under the sink. take this content paper and I can get about this far. There's no air movement. It's really hot. So this will be, let's see. Let's see how this works. This is one of those trial and error. I'll see if I can maybe just peel off a little bit on the top. Get it up there and stuck, and then reach in and pull the paper off. Let's see how it goes. All right. I can reach. I've got wrinkles in it. I don't know if that matters or not. That was not pretty by any stretch, but it's on there. I'm going to just use what I have. Oh man, here, let me see the phone. I'm going to take them under here real quick. Oh, Joe's not feeling well. Go get your chair and come close. So look here. Look here at the separation from the wall. So this is not, okay, see if I can back in a little bit. It's not on there at all. So this has a bracket under it. I don't know if you can see. Let me turn the bracket way up there. And this thing is super heavy. And it says made in the United States of America. Standard something company. Okay. Joe's just sitting there kind of sad. I'm going to go find my tripod. She's going to go sit in the fan, and I'm going to get my tripod and put it down there with me so y'all can see what's happening. Yes, it's been a disaster day already. Kelly made a load of drop off at the recycling center, and her car suddenly stopped, and they think it's a warranty issue, some kind of a heat something or other sensor, which it's so hot out that they said it won't ever reset. So it's being towed to the dealer, and I had to go get her and fetch her. So I had big plans on really working today, and it's just not happening. Oh goodness. When it's so hot, it would be so much better if there were just any kind of breeze at all, but not today. Not today. Let's see, I'm going to use my weird little piece. Okay. And this does not have to be perfect. Again, the whole point of it is to keep the tile from falling down. And then we're going to cut it row by row of the tile and remove rows of tile.
This went on for quite a while. It was very time consuming, and it's a lot of getting up and down off the floor and being bendy. And I'm a little less bendy than I used to be when I was young, but it's really necessary because we can't afford to lose any of these tiles. You can see there's a few broken and missing ones here and there, but for the most part, all the tiles are here. We don't know how many we'll successfully get off the wall. I think we'll get a lot of them because they are so incredibly loose on the wall, unlike the floor where they're stuck some places and loose some places. But we need to have kind of a backup plan on what we're going to do, because I don't think we'll be able to match these tiles and find any more. So we want to protect them all, and then we want to kind of have an idea of how we're going to handle any missing ones.
We want to try an experiment. I was reading online and it was talking about a predictor of your health as you age, and it said your ability to get up off the floor without the use of your hands was a good predictor of your general health. Now, it didn't really tell you how to go about that, but I'm going to give it a shot and see. Okay, I did it that way. I can also do the Japanese squat and get all the way up. So if y'all are home, do flexibility and strength exercises. All right. Now let's look at our plan for the wall. I really need Joe. I'm sorry she's not feeling well. But here's my plan for the wall. So this wall, at first we thought was stuck. It's not. I can actually see the tiles popping out here. So all this is going to have to come down, as is really all the walls around here. The only one that doesn't have to come off is tucked around this corner here, and you don't see it. So my thought was, depending on the number of tiles we lose, if we can get our crown off here, and whatever this is off here, this is supposed to be behind the stove, but you can see it's tucked interior to these poles. So what I could do is put this trim piece back lined up with the edge of the fireplace, and that would gain me 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, about 40 tiles. The other thing we can do is we can drop this down a couple of rows of tile and put it here all the way around the room. And that gives us 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 20 tiles. So 20, 40, 60, maybe another 80. So it gives us about 120 tiles, and no one coming in here will ever know the difference, that we didn't go quite as high and that we centered this bare wall under the vent hood. So that's kind of my backup plan for if we lose a lot of tile. Hopefully we won't. We've only lost one that we know of so far, and there's a missing one over there, but I've got it tucked away in a drawer. It was coming off early on, and I took it and saved it. So that's kind of the plan right now. It's hard to match this old tile. The other thing we could do if we absolutely had to is we could put some kind of a border row in here of maybe a white on white textured tile, or some kind of little pattern tile like we have up in the bathroom up there. But I really don't want to do that. I really want it to look like it did when Nicholas Clayton designed it and built it. And I think that illusion of just dropping this a little bit and still having a high wall, but not quite as high, would be the best solution for that. So I'm going to go get the rest of the contact paper finished up under there, see where they are outside, and then we're going to come in and try to get this sink out.
Okay, I just have to say that peeling contact paper is hard. I have sped this up 600 times and cut probably 70% of the video out, and it still takes this long. It is so hard to get that little backing off the paper. But this area, as you saw underneath, the tiles are extremely loose, so this definitely has to be done before we try to pick up this sink and get it off the wall. All right, so we've got the last project on the list. Ricardo and crew are downstairs working. Remember, this is that intense 3-week period in June where we were getting so much work done, and somehow 4 years ago when we worked on the basement, we missed putting up a floor joist under that little half round parlor extension. So Ricardo was down there working on that. I wanted to make sure he left a hole for an electric cord to go through because we have to have a light in here. So he's getting all that taken care of, and there's just another long laundry list of little things in addition to all the work being done on the patio outside. Leave a hole for the electrical to come through over to this light. Okay. There's no telling really how many other little things have been missed down here. There's so much kind of punch list work that needs to be done. We need joist hangers in certain places. We had taken down our cross bracing in a lot of places to put up new floor joists. We have those stashed away. They're hard to get to. They need to come out and be cleaned up and put back. We don't want to do that until we finish running electrical though, and plumbing and looking at AC ducting. So there's just always something to do, but this missing joist was a big problem and certainly something Ricardo and his crew need to do. We can't do that ourselves. And outside, Juan was finishing up kind of that brick apron patio area that we extended from the not the driveway, from the garage, and it's looking great. At some point, hopefully I'll catch a cleaned up after shot for you guys. Every time I think I have one, it's kind of messy again as we continue to do work, but it's looking really great. It's so much better than what we had before. And it's just set in sand. Again, we need this temporary because we still have to possibly pull up part of it to do our fire suppression equipment. The big city line runs kind of right here where I'm scraping sand with this shovel. So it is just right on the edge. We might even be able to go underneath it. And that line's only about 3 feet down. But back to the kitchen.
The guys are here. They're, oh, come on in. Come on in. Come on, come on. Come on. They're here and they're ready. So if I trust anybody in the world, I trust Ricardo and Marty Bell and crew to do this. But we're starting with the sink removal. It's original. It's cast iron. It's super heavy. I've got my contact paper up. But the sink, they've got to get the faucet off, but the whole thing just sits on a steel bar attached to the wall. So it's a matter of popping it free and lifting it up. So we're going to start with that and get it out of the way. So we need to, oh, I meant to get wire cutters and cut this thing off, but we'll do that later. But anyway, I'm going to get out of the way and let them work on that. Do you need a pipe wrench to get the, we're going to have to take this off. You know what, Ricardo? Actually, it's cut off on the back here. It's been cut off, so it might just pull out. I don't know. It's actually not attached. It's actually not attached. No, there's still something. There's still something.
Yeah.
Do you have a pipe wrench or a? If not, I've got one upstairs. And we're not saving that. Oh, well, that's shocking that just, That's shocking. Let me bring you in and show you that. It's just unscrewed, like super easy, which is crazy because usually old plumbing is really stuck. And we want to be careful with our sink. It's got a couple of chips in it, but we're not going to re-enamel it with modern epoxy. We're going to clean it up and do a little patch repair there. So we don't want to chip it up any more than it already is. Okay, that's still on there. I think we might have to get Does this unscrew? Ricardo, does this unscrew? Are we going to have to cut it? Okay. Oh, never mind. It wasn't so easy. We're going to take a pause.
I didn't film the faucet removal, but I can tell from the timestamp on the video, 45 minutes later, a lot of saws, grinders, wrenches, and hard work. We got the faucet out, and it was time to finally remove the sink.
Yeah, straight up. It has to go straight up.
As typical, it proved much harder than we thought. There's nowhere to grab it because it's all the way to the wall on the left-hand side. If they pick up from the front, it's actually tilting it to the wall instead of lifting it straight up. And the way the bracket is on the wall and the way it's slid down behind it, you really need to be lifting straight up against the wall to separate the mount from the sink. And this thing is heavy.
Yeah, that end seems to be loose. I was going to say, you might. Yeah, see. It's very heavy. I don't know. They can just sit it down. They can just.
I dropped the ball big time on this one. They got it out, and I did not have a plan on where to store it long term. And I just wanted them to sit it on the floor, and we'd think about it. But they didn't want to sit it down and have to pick it back up. So they stood there and held it for a second while I ran around and found a place to put it.
Heavy. Okay. All right, sorry, I didn't take camera in there. I think it's over 300 pounds. Just gotta get that thing off the back of that to move that. But you can see the brackets that, okay, before we do anything else, I want to get my tape measure and measure a couple things. Do you have your tape measure? Okay. So I'm going to go write this down. But before we get carried away, the bracket height, the top is 47 inches. The tile height is 71 inches to the top of the cap. Okay. What did I just say? 47 and 71. I'm going to write that down. Okay. Well, it's centered on the. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, let's measure that. And 6 inches in between. I'm not sure. I'll have to look at how the sink's mounted. If this matters that much, how far apart they are. But yeah, here, put your tape on there. Just put your tape across it. Let me get a, stop this. I'm going to go get my notebook and write that down. Okay. All right.
No creo. Búscate otro huevo, tus hermanos no hay nada.
All right. Come out.
You feel the one?
4, 5, 6 big screws in it. Well, you know what? We can leave those for a while. We can do the floor, leave this up, and come back and get that later. I'll spray it with some WD-40. Get one out. Okay, that's a screw. Okay. That is some big screws. Okay. Let's see. This, I guess we can put. Okay.
Por la pared. What do you want to start with?
I don't know. I think I need to put the paper I have on the wall over there and the wall over there, and then we can start laying out the timbers in the basement to protect the concrete below.
Okay.
If you want to get that started, I'll go ahead and put the paper on the
Dice que va
walls.
a proteger las paredes aquí, que mientras empiecen a poner los soportes en la parte de abajo. Can they help you?
No, I can do this real quick while they're doing that.
So while Maribel and I put up the rest of the contact paper, the guys go down in the basement to start covering the floor. So if I'm doing my math right, this kitchen is 16 feet by 14 feet, and the concrete is about 6 inches deep that we're removing. And concrete weighs about 140 to 150 pounds per cubic foot. So that's about 16,000 pounds of concrete, and that's not the weight of the tile up here. This is a heavy room, and we don't know how this stuff is going to come down, if we'll be able to manage it in small pieces, if it's going to fall out in big chunks at a time. As I said, this is kind of uncharted territory. Ricardo's been thinking about it for a while, how to brace and manage the concrete. I've been thinking about the tile removal, but we just need to kind of see how it goes. And we have plumbing coming up through the floor that if we break it off, that's a disaster, because we'll have to chip out the concrete around that and dig down and replace it, which you saw us do in our bath. In the gift shop, where the plumber accidentally broke the pipe, and then we had to jackhammer out the slab and dig down and piece that together. So we definitely don't want to do that. So this is a process, and as I said, it is a trial and error process. It doesn't mean we're haphazard at it. We've thought about it for 3 years, how we're going to get this done, but we just don't know until we get started if any of those ideas are going to work and how it's going to go. So at this point, we're pretty nervous but excited, because we're committed. It's happening.
All right, actually, I got too carried away. The first thing I was going to do was go put the sprinkler out in the yard and get going on that. Our effort to save the grass. We're doing pretty well, but we need to hit this brown area over there some more today. I'm worried now we have too much slope here. I may have to have them pull this little tiny section up and lift it just a little bit. The rest of it's good. So they're laying down plywood, protecting our plumbing. What are y'all doing with that? You gonna start on that side? Yes. Okay. You don't want to start where it's already. Sorry about everything. You can see this crack. That's where the temporary beam was, and it got jacked up real high and shattered that concrete. So the concept is put the jacks in, slowly jack the concrete up until we break the concrete. And that is right along the kitchen wall. All right, absolutely freaking me out. Ricardo, do you want to cut that light down so it's not in the way? Let's move our shutter out of harm's way. You want to try the rotary hammer first on the tile? I think this may work. We may want to, hold on just a second. All right, so Ricardo's got the hammer drill with a really thin blade. And so this is really not, yeah, I think we may want to do this first and then get the concrete out.
So at this point, it looks like everything is going to work to plan, and this is going to be easy. We're going to pop these tiles up and get this concrete out and go on to another project. But I will give you a little sneak peek into next week's video. That does not happen. So we are stopping here, and hopefully you will hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and join us next week when we really get into quite the mess here with this kitchen floor removal. Thanks for watching. We are the League-Kempner house in Galveston, Texas. We appreciate you guys so much for supporting us on this journey to restore this incredible house.